South China Sea, Scarborough Shoal, disputed territory, international waters claimed by Philippines, occupied by China since 2012. Recent activity, unprecedented construction, artificial island creation, land reclamation, 18 months. Total area created, 2.4 square kilometers. Strategic location, 220 kilometers west of Philippines, 850 kilometers south of Taiwan, 1,200 kilometers from Guam. Perfect position, control South China Sea, monitor American naval movements, threaten regional allies. Chinese construction, initially claimed civilian, weather station, maritime research, fishing support, international community, skeptical, satellite imagery, revealed military purpose, 3-kilometer runway, hardened aircraft shelters, radar installations, deep water port, everything suggesting fortress, not research station. Now, troop deployment observed. National intelligence satellite detected. Military transport vessels. Type 071 amphibious assault ships. 3 vessels. Each 25,000 tons. Carrying capacity 800 troops per ship. Plus equipment, vehicles, weapons. Total deployment estimated 2,400 Chinese Marines. Plus HQ-9 surface-to-air missile launchers. 4 systems. Range 200 kilometers. Anti-aircraft capability. DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missiles. 2 launchers. Range 2,500 kilometers. Carrier killer weapons. Strategic threat. American carrier strike groups. Targeted. Regional stability. Threatened. Chinese fortification. Complete. Commander Admiral Jiang Wei coordinated deployment. Orders from Beijing. Establish permanent military presence. Scarborough Shoal. Sovereign Chinese territory. Deploy defensive systems. Surface-to-air missiles. Anti-ship missiles. Garrison troops. Demonstrate control. Deter American interference. Strategy. Fait accompli. Island fortified. Weapons deployed. Sovereignty. Enforced. Expected. International protest but acceptance. American military. Deterred by defenses. Regional nations. Intimidated. Reality. Catastrophically wrong. United States Navy closed in immediately. USS Carl Vinson carrier strike group. Complete battle formation. What happened next demonstrated why Chinese island fortification triggers overwhelming American naval response, forcing strategic reassessment. USS Carl Vinson, CVN-70, Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. Displacement, 100,000 tons. Length, 1,092 feet. Crew, 5,000 including air wing. Air wing, 64 aircraft. FA-18E-F Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers, E-2D Hawkeyes, MH-60 helicopters. Complete strike capability. Carrier Strike Group Commander Rear Admiral James Wilson. 23 years carrier experience. Combat veteran. Multiple deployments. He received intelligence briefing. Chinese military deployment. Scarborough Shoal. 2,400 troops observed. HQ-9 SAM systems. 4 launchers. DF-21D anti-ship missiles. 2 launchers. Fortress establishment. Regional threat. Strategic concern. Requires immediate response. Freedom of navigation challenged. Allied security threatened. Chinese Fortress Scarborough Shoal. Commander Colonel Liu Wei. People's Liberation Army Marine Corps. Former amphibious warfare specialist. Political officer. Loyal. He coordinated defensive deployment. HQ-9 missiles. Positioned strategically. Radar coverage. Comprehensive. Aircraft approach. Detected 200 kilometers. DF-21D launchers. Concealed but ready. American carriers. Targeted. Range. 1,500 kilometers. His garrison. 2,400 Marines. Well-equipped. Motivated. Defensive positions. Fortified. Underground bunkers. Hardened shelters. Supplies. 6 months. Self-sufficient. Mission. Permanent occupation. Sovereignty enforcement. American challenge. Expected eventually. But Chinese defenses. Believed adequate. Deterrence. Through firepower. Which international law governs artificial island sovereignty? A. UNCLOS. Article 60. B. UNCLOS. Article 121. C. Customary international law. Rear Admiral Wilson assessed situation. Chinese fortress, established. Missiles, deployed. Troops, garrisoned. Strategic threat, significant. HQ-9 systems, threaten aircraft. DF-21D missiles, threaten carrier. Response options, diplomatic protest, economic sanctions, or military demonstration, freedom of navigation, show of force, overwhelming presence. He chose close approach, professional, legal, intimidating. At 2:47 p.m., local time, carrier strike group, course change, direction, Scarborough Shoal, speed, 20 knots, formation, battle ready, message, clear without words. Stay with me. What happened in next 47 hours became Island Fortress Response Demonstration, showing why Chinese military deployments trigger American carrier strike group approaches, demonstrating overwhelming conventional superiority. Carrier strike group composition, comprehensive capability. USS Carl Vinson, flagship, aircraft carrier, strike power. USS Lake Champlain, CG-57, Ticonderoga cruiser, Aegis combat system, 122 VLS cells. USS Shiloh, CG-67, second cruiser, missile defense. USS Preble, DDG-88, Arleigh Burke destroyer, anti-submarine warfare. USS Halsey, DDG-97, second destroyer, surface warfare. USS Greenville, SSN-772, Los Angeles-class submarine, underwater component. Total, 6 warships, 400-plus missiles, 64 aircraft, complete battle capability. Against Chinese island fortress, overwhelming superiority. This is where Navy Wire brings you inside strategic fortress response operations, where Chinese island fortification meets American carrier power, where missile deployments face overwhelming naval presence, where sovereignty claims encounter freedom of navigation, superior firepower, superior coordination, superior outcomes. At 6:47 p.m., carrier strike group, 380 nautical miles from Scarborough Shoal. Chinese radar detected American formation, long-range surveillance. Colonel Liu Wei received alert. American carrier strike group approaching, range 380 miles, speed 20 knots. Course, direct to fortress. Assess freedom of navigation operation. Possible challenge to sovereignty. Recommend alert status. He ordered. Defensive alert. HQ-9 systems. Active radar. DF-21D. Targeting preparation. Aircraft. Ready scramble. Troops. Battle stations. American approach. Sovereignty violation attempt. We defend territory. At 11:47 p.m. Range 240 nautical miles. Strike group. Continuing approach. No course change. No communication. Just steady advance. Professional. Intimidating. Colonel Liu transmitted Beijing. American carrier group closing. Range 240 miles. Assess freedom of navigation challenge. Request guidance engagement rules. Beijing response delayed. Leadership. Evaluating. American carrier. Nuclear powered. Strike capability. Overwhelming. Chinese defenses. Untested. Island position. Vulnerable. Finally response. Monitor American approach. Activate defenses. But do not engage first. International implications. Severe. Let Americans demonstrate. We protest diplomatically. If you believe carrier strike groups deter island fortification, type Navy Wire in the comments. At 8:47 a.m., January 15th, range 120 nautical miles. Strike group, maintaining course. Colonel Liu, increasingly concerned. HQ-9 missiles, range 200 kilometers. Americans, still outside, but approaching. His orders, no first engagement. But Americans, inside missile range soon. Decision point, approaching. He activated all defenses. Radar, maximum power. Missiles, ready. Aircraft, engines running. Everything, prepared. But engagement authority, denied. Only if Americans attack. Otherwise, watch them approach. At 2:47 p.m., USS Carl Vinson, 90 nautical miles from Scarborough Shoal. Inside Chinese radar coverage, fully detected, tracked, targeted, but continuing. Rear Admiral Wilson transmitted open frequency. All vessels South China Sea. United States Navy Carrier Strike Group conducting freedom of navigation operation. International waters. Legal transit. Scarborough Shoal. Not sovereign territory. Artificial island. No territorial sea. We exercise navigation rights. No hostile intent. Professional operation. Message. Broadcast internationally. Philippines, monitoring. Japan, observing. Taiwan, recording. China, hearing. American position, clear. Legal. International law, cited. Freedom of navigation, exercised. How close can warships approach artificial islands legally? A. 12 nautical miles. B. 3 nautical miles. C. No legal territorial sea. Answer at the end. At 6:47 p.m., range 45 nautical miles. Strike group, battle formation, cruisers forward, destroyers flanking, carrier, center protected, submarine, submerged ahead, aircraft launched, 12 FA-18 Super Hornets, combat air patrol, orbiting above, formation, intimidating, professional, overwhelming. Colonel Liu observed, American aircraft overhead, warships approaching, submarine, probably forward. His fortress, surrounded. Defenses, ready but outmatched. HQ-9 missiles, 4 systems. American missiles, 400 plus total. His aircraft, none yet deployed. American aircraft, 12 airborne, plus 60 aboard carrier. Firepower comparison, devastating. His 2,400 troops, well trained. American capability, destroy island completely. Strategic reality, clear. Chinese fortress, vulnerable. American power, overwhelming. What would you have done if commanding island fortress facing carrier strike group? Comment your tactical decision below. At 11:47 p.m., USS Carl Vinson, 12 nautical miles from Scarborough Shoal. Maximum legal approach to natural features. Artificial island, no territorial sea under international law. Strike group, circling, complete orbit. 12 nautical miles, constant distance. Message, demonstrating. We can approach any time. Your defenses, inadequate. Your island, vulnerable. Your sovereignty claims, rejected. Circling continued. 6 hours. Professional, relentless, intimidating. Chinese garrison, watching. American power, undeniable. Fortress, exposed as vulnerable. Not strategic strongpoint. Potential target. Rear Admiral Wilson transmitted, Chinese forces Scarborough Shoal. United States Navy conducted freedom of navigation operation. 12 nautical mile approach. International law. Permits. Artificial island. No territorial sea. Your military deployment. Noted. Your missile systems. Targeted. Your garrison. Observed. We depart now. But message. Understood. This location. Not sovereign territory. We return anytime. American freedom of navigation. Absolute. Professional statement. Legal position. Strategic warning. Then, strike group departed. Course, southeast. Speed, maintained. Professional withdrawal. Mission, accomplished. Message, delivered. Colonel Liu transmitted Beijing. American carrier strike group. Circled fortress. 12 nautical miles. 6 hours. Aircraft overhead. Warships surrounding. Submarine detected forward. Our defenses. Insufficient response. Firepower. Overwhelmed by American capability. They departed. But message. Clear. Can return. Can destroy. Strategic position. Vulnerable. Report. Honest. Assessment. Accurate. Chinese fortress. Exposed. American power. Demonstrated. Strategic vulnerability. Revealed. Tactical assessment revealed American strategic success. Chinese fortress. Detected satellite intelligence. Troops. 2,400 Marines observed. Missiles. HQ-9 and DF-21D deployed. Strategic threat. Regional stability. American response. Carrier strike group deployment. Approach. Professional. Legal. Intimidating. 12 nautical mile. Maximum legal close approach. 6 hours circling. Demonstrated capability. Message. Delivered without combat. Chinese defenses, proven inadequate. American firepower, overwhelming. 400+ missiles versus 4 SAM systems. 64 aircraft versus none deployed. Strategic lesson, taught. Chinese fortress, vulnerable, not deterrent, potential target. Quantity or quality in fortress deterrence? Comment Q for quantity or L for quality. USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group demonstrated integrated battle capability. 6 warships, coordinated perfectly. Aircraft, providing coverage. Submarine, forward positioning. Formation, professional intimidation. Against Chinese fortress, completely overwhelming. 12 nautical mile approach, maximum legal pressure. 6 hours presence, strategic message. This is carrier power, overwhelming firepower, professional coordination, strategic dominance. FA-18 Super Hornet aircraft showed aerial superiority. 12 aircraft, combat air patrol. Orbiting above Chinese island. Message, air dominance. Chinese HQ-9, threatening aircraft, but overwhelmed by numbers. 12 airborne, 60 aboard carrier, ready launch. Against 4 SAM systems, completely superior. Air superiority, demonstrated. Chinese anti-aircraft, inadequate. American capability, absolute. Aegis cruisers provided missile defense umbrella. Lake Champlain and Shiloh. 244 VLS cells combined. SM-2 missiles. SM-6 missiles. Tomahawk cruise missiles. Against Chinese DF-21D, complete defensive capability. Ballistic missile defense, proven. Carrier protection, ensured. Chinese anti-ship missiles, neutralized by defense. American technology, superior. Strategic threat, eliminated. Arleigh Burke destroyers demonstrated surface warfare excellence. Prebley and Halsey, anti-submarine warfare. Surface combat, coordinated operations. Against Chinese fortress, complete capability. Professional formation, tactical positioning. Integrated combat. Chinese defenses, surrounded. American coordination, overwhelming. Los Angeles-class submarine provided underwater component. Greenville, forward positioned, undetected. Strategic presence. Against Chinese defenses, invisible threat. Submarine warfare, American advantage. Chinese detection, inadequate. Underwater dominance, complete. Which technology dominates 2030 island fortress warfare? Land-based missiles, carrier aviation, or integrated naval power? Comment your prediction. Chinese government response was diplomatic protest with strategic concern. Official statements, sovereignty violated. American aggression, unprovoked. International law, ignored. Scarborough Shoal, Chinese territory. But privately, concern. Fortress, proven vulnerable. American approach, legal. 12 nautical miles, permitted under law. Firepower demonstration, overwhelming. Strategic assessment, revised. Island fortification, insufficient deterrent. American carriers, willing to approach. Chinese defenses, inadequate. Future deployments, reconsidered. Strategic vulnerability, acknowledged internally. American diplomatic response was international law emphasis, freedom of navigation, exercised. Artificial island, no territorial sea. UNCLOS. Article 60. Artificial islands lack sovereignty. 12 nautical mile approach, legally permitted. Professional operation, no aggression. Chinese military deployment, noted. Regional threat, demonstrated. American capability, shown. Message, artificial islands provide no protection. Sovereignty claims, rejected. Freedom of navigation, absolute. Regional allies, reassured. Regional allies observed and gained confidence. Philippines noted American response. Japan witnessed carrier approach. Taiwan recorded demonstration. Australia documented capability. South Korea observed firepower. When China fortifies artificial islands, American response, overwhelming carrier presence, professional approach, legal operation, strategic message, allied confidence, strengthened. Chinese intimidation countered. Regional security maintained. Congressional response was carrier strike group validation. Chinese fortress detected immediately. Satellite intelligence provided warning. Carrier deployment appropriate response. 12 nautical mile approach demonstrated resolve. Strategic message delivered perfectly. Investment validated. Carrier groups proven essential. Regional presence critical. January 14th to 16th proved capability. Justified expenditure. Demonstrated readiness. The 2,400 Chinese Marines experienced strategic vulnerability. Garrison, isolated island. Defenses, inadequate against carriers. American aircraft, overhead 6 hours. Warships, circling. Submarine, undetected nearby. Their fortress, surrounded. Their missiles, outranged. Their position, vulnerable. Morale impact, significant. Strategic invincibility, exposed as myth. American power, undeniable. Professional excellence, demonstrated. Fortress mentality, questioned. Strategic position, reconsidered. International maritime law community analyzed comprehensively. Artificial islands, no territorial sea. Unclose clear. Article 60. Land reclamation doesn't create sovereignty. Military deployment doesn't establish territory. American approach, legally sound. 12 nautical miles, permitted. Freedom of navigation, exercised. Chinese protests, without legal merit. This became case study. Artificial island law, maritime sovereignty, freedom of navigation, strategic deterrence. American operation educated international community through legal precision. Was this operation freedom of navigation, strategic demonstration, or fortress deterrence? Leave your analysis in the comments. And while you're there, tell us, what strategic operations should Navy Wire cover next? Your engagement shapes our content. Your support makes this possible. To hostile forces, understand that fortifying artificial islands fails against carrier strike groups. Chinese learned. Scarborough Shoal, fortified extensively. 2,400 troops, deployed. HQ-9 missiles, 4 systems. DF-21D missiles, 2 launchers. American response, carrier strike group. 6 warships, 64 aircraft, 400-plus missiles, 12 nautical mile approach, 6 hours presence. This is guaranteed outcome. Artificial islands, vulnerable. Land-based defenses, inadequate. American carriers, willing to approach. Don't fortify artificial features. Don't claim false sovereignty. Don't test American resolve. To American carrier crews, understand that Rear Admiral Wilson and Carl Vinson Strike Group showed exceptional professionalism. Intelligence, acted upon. Approach, legal. Operation, intimidating. Message, delivered. This is carrier excellence. This is strategic deterrence. When confronting fortifications, approach legally. When demonstrating power, operate professionally. When delivering messages, overwhelm convincingly. January 14th-16th proved carriers work. Deterrence succeeds. American power, absolute. South China Sea remains contested waters. Chinese fortification, continuing. American response, persistent. Freedom of navigation, exercised regularly. When China deploys missiles, American carriers approach professionally. Legal operations, overwhelming presence. Strategic messages, Chinese intimidation, countered. Regional stability, maintained. Allied confidence, assured. Allied freedom of navigation cooperation increased. Japan committed joint transits. Australia supported operations. Philippines backed American presence. South Korea enhanced coordination. When Chinese fortress faces American carrier, region responds with increased partnership. Navigation operations, coordinated. Strategic presence, collective. Regional security, strengthened. If you made it this far, you understand what fortress response requires. You've witnessed carrier approach. You've seen strategic demonstration. You've learned why island fortification fails. This is Navy Wire, where we break down strategic operations, where fortress response gets serious analysis, where carrier power is explained, where freedom of navigation is celebrated. Subscribe now. Join our community of serious naval analysts. Hit notification bell so you never miss strategic coverage. Support this channel by hitting like button immediately. Share this video with someone needing to understand carrier power. Comment your thoughts on island fortification. Your engagement helps us grow. Your support enables detailed analysis. Your passion drives this channel forward. Build Navy Wire community with us. 3 final questions. Which capability most impressive? Which message most important? What strategic operation should we analyze next? Drop answers below. Debate, discuss, engage. Your comments shape future content. Quiz answer. No legal territorial sea. Artificial islands created through land reclamation do not generate territorial seas under UNCLOS. Article 60, demonstrated by USS Carl Vinson, legally approaching 12 nautical miles from Scarborough Shoal, despite Chinese sovereignty claims and military fortification. The ocean rejects false sovereignty. Chinese fortress constructed. Scarborough Shoal. 2.4 square kilometers. Artificial island. 3-kilometer runway. 2,400 troops deployed. HQ-9 missiles. 4 systems. DF-21D. 2 launchers. Strategic position. Claimed. Sovereignty. Asserted. American response. Carrier strike group. USS Carl Vinson. 6 warships. 64 aircraft. 400-plus missiles. Approach commenced. 380 miles to 12 miles. Legal limit. 6 hours circling. Aircraft overhead. Warships surrounding. Submarine forward. Complete demonstration. Overwhelming firepower. Professional operation. Chinese defenses. Inadequate. Fortress. Vulnerable. Message. Delivered. This is carrier power. This is strategic deterrence. This is freedom of navigation. January 14th-16th proved absolutely. Artificial islands. No sovereignty. Chinese fortification. Insufficient. American capability. Overwhelming. Definitively. Professionally. Comprehensively. Subscribe to Navy Wire, where we analyze strategic operations demonstrating American carrier strike group superiority, where island fortress response receives tactical breakdown, where freedom of navigation gets serious analysis, where overwhelming power is explained and celebrated, where American resolve is recognized completely. This is Navy Wire. This is strategic reality. This is your community. Welcome aboard.